Bonjour, bonjour, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cyril. I have been a stem cell researcher for quite some time, and this is why I can tell you about the science behind skincare. And for today's video, I want to do a formula breakdown and an overview of the Barbara Strum skincare line. So Barbara Strum, she is an aesthetics and anti-aging doctor based in Germany, and she is now really famous for apparently for her skills in aesthetics medicine. So basically it is all about all the different type of fillers, and there are so many, of threads, also of Botox. Obviously sometimes it also could be some different type of lasers, radiofrequency, and so on. There are many techniques that are used in aesthetics, and basically this is a non-invasive surgery, and she is all about this, and she has created a own skincare line. And from my understanding and from what I've read online, her skincare lines has been launched in 2003, so now I would say for quite some time. And if you go to her website, she described her brand as unique science-based products have achieved cult status with skincare devotees worldwide, and her philosophy of healing the skin has challenged both aggressive approaches and the conventional wisdom. So for once, before just jumping straight away into the formula of each product, I did a little bit of research and also read some, I would say, of the marketing claims, and also I would say a sort of philosophy. And she's all about, I would say, anti-inflammatory treatment, because she believes that inflammatory process is the reasons of aging. Just in a pure scientific point of view, this is just silly and stupid, because the inflammation process, first of all, is something that naturally occurs even in children and in babies, and by no means they are aging. This is actually the opposite. And I think it is very important to forget this idea that the inflammation is something that is necessarily bad. This is actually quite the opposite. This is because we have the inflammatory process that we can also simply survive. And this, I think it's really a view from a medical point of view, because obviously when you go and see a doctor, it's because most of the time you have a disease or something that is, I would say, wrong, and it is always linked to an inflammatory process. And I think this is why most doctors also really bias towards the inflammatory response, and they only see, I would say, the bad side of it. But thanks to the inflammatory process, this is, for example, how you heal when you have a cut on your hands or on your arms, and etc. So this is something that is very important, and also at the same time very healthy, because the inflammatory response is simply part of our own immune system to simply get rid of dead cells in our body, to get rid of an infection from a bacteria, from the viruses, from fungus, and etc. So this is something that is like simply a requirement for our life. Also, just in terms of anti-aging, it has been well proven and demonstrated that, for example, really deep and strong peel has an amazing effect and really like rejuvenate the skin. And when you see patients before and after the strong peelings, most of the time using TCA combined with phenol, you see tremendous results in around 2 to 3 weeks. And those peels are extremely strong, and they do trigger a lot of inflammation in the skin, but in that case, it is very healthy. So here again, I really don't like those really like blunt statement. Yes, it is important to not create unnecessary inflammation on the skin. For example, by using a lot of fragrances in your skincare, a lot of alcohol that could be really aggressive for the skin, I would say, for nothing. But from time to time, having, I would say, a harsh treatment that controls the inflammation can lead to tremendous results, especially when you do have sign of aging. So anyway, the aim of this video is simply by looking at the formula to tell you what I think about it and if it is worth a try. Obviously, because I didn't try the product, I cannot tell you how efficient they are going to be, but always by looking at the formula, you can have some precious information like, does it contain any irritant? Does it contain any ingredient that are state of the art in terms of science? Because she claimed that all skincare is science-based. So let's see if this is true. And also simply if the ingredients make sense. For example, in a moisturizer, you always want to look at the ratio between emollient and also humectant and what type of emollients has been used. And also keep in mind that this skincare line is super high-end. It costs really a fortune. So let's see if the overall formula really justifies the price or not. So the first product that I'm going to talk about is her cleanser. So it retails for $70 for 150 ml, so a pretty hefty price for cleansers. And what the first thing that what the most striking for me when I look at this formula is that it is completely surfactant free. So surfactants are a type of molecule that have a group that we call hydrophilic. So it is like a head in the molecule that likes water, that bonds to water in a way. And it has another group that is hydrophobic, so that doesn't like water and that basically likes fats and lipids. And basically those detergents, what they're going to do is that they are going to be linked to the lipids in your skin, naturally present on your skin or from your skincare. And the hydrophilic head, so the head that likes water, will help to dissolve all the gunk. This is basically how it works. And of course, in the surfactant family, you have many different surfactants. Some of them can be easily formulated with an acidic pH, which is what you want. And also some of them are, I would say, harsher than others. So the first ingredient in this form is water, then you find aloe vera, panthenol, so both of them are excellent skin soothing ingredient. Aloe vera has also some humectants. Then we find urea. Urea is an excellent humectant. It is also an excellent ingredient if you have dry and sensitive skin. At a high concentration, it is also what we call keratolytic, so it means that it helps to exfoliate the skin. And then we find a lacto-fermented ingredient, which is the lacto-fermentation from Portulaca. So Portulaca is a plant that is also edible. There are some reports that this plant has some healthy properties, but for the skin I have to say that I found almost nothing. It is even worse if you are looking for fermented Portulaca. There is basically nothing. I did find one manufacturer that promotes the lacto-fermentation of this ingredient, and most of the time it is sold with a lactobacillus, which is basically a yogurt bacteria that is going to fermented the Portulaca. So the whole idea of the fermentation is that the bacteria with its own metabolism is going to break down some of the big molecules that you find in the raw ingredients in the beginning. This is the whole idea. But here we are lacking some scientific evidence to know if they are really doing something or not, which doesn't mean that it is a bad ingredient or a good ingredient, or just something that is really well known on board about Portulaca, that it is really rich in glutathione. Glutathione or glutathione, I don't exactly know how to pronounce it, is a natural tripeptide. So a peptide is basically amino acid that are linked together, and it is a really potent and natural antioxidant that almost all our cells use. Now, I have also said it in one of my previous videos, there are not many reports about the role of glutathione applied topically, so I cannot really comment on it. Also, even though this extract is rich into this active, this is always difficult because depending on the bench, you can never be sure that you will have the same concentration, which is why in general I do prefer when the active is put directly rather than using a natural ingredient that may contain a certain amount of this molecule. Also, because we are lacking some scientific evidence about this ingredient, we also don't know what is the best concentration to use. So here again, we need to rely on the own lab expertise, and I'm always not super comfortable about this because we never know. And again, this cleanser is about $70, so a hefty amount. Also, you will see that this ingredient is present in almost all her skincare products. So yes, this formula seems extremely safe because, like all other product, there is no fragrance, no essential oils, no alcohol, so no known irritants, which is absolutely perfect. I also saw an interview of her where she's claiming that this is an acidic pH of a pH 5.2, which is obviously excellent. My only worries about this cleanser is that it does like any surfactant, so therefore for the morning it could be perfect to use. But for the evening, it is probably not enough to have a proper cleanse of the face. Also, like I said, I always recommend to double cleanse the skin because the water-based cleanser that I always recommend are super gentle. So now I'm going to present you some dupes because $70 for a cleanser, I do find it a little bit too much, especially considering the formula. There is nothing that is really striking or a technology that is mind-blowing here. So the first one is extremely affordable. This is one from CeraVe. This is the hydrating cleanser. So this bad boy over here. So this one is super gentle. You also need to be careful with this one. This is for sure that you need to double cleanse because it is extremely gentle. This is also a perfect one to use if you have children. Another alternative is simply this one from Avène, which is Avène in French. This is the extremely gentle cleanser lotion. This one also is super gentle, but the cleansing power is stronger than this one. And also this one is perfume-free, irritant-free, so it is perfect if you have super sensitive skin or if you are using any dermatological treatment. The last one that is more on the high end, it is this one from Skin Fix. This is the foaming oil cleanser. This one also is magnificent. And also the texture is very nice and it is also super gentle. This one definitely, if you have normal to dry skin, this one will help you a lot. So the next product is the balancing toner. So this one retails for $75 and you get 150 ml. So again, a pretty high price, and you will see that really the ingredient list does not again justify this crazy price. So the formula is super simple. This is basically the same fermented extract from Portulaca. You get panthenol, you also get sugar, which is xylityl glucoside, and hyaluronic acid, and of course the preservatives, but basically that's it. And I do find that for $70 it's almost like a robbing. If you are not new to my channel, you will know that I'm a huge lover of toners. So whatever the name, toners, essence or lotion, what I love about them when they are well formulated is that they are packed with humectants, and humectants are this class of molecule in skincare that really attracts the water to draw in the water into your skin. And most of the time, any type of toner, essence and lotion, they have a really high water content with those humectants. So the water contained in the product will stay in your skin. Of course, if you don't use after an emollient based product, aka a moisturizer, the water that has been drawn by those humectants is not going to stay for a long time in your skin, and you will end up with dry skin unless you live in a super humid country or you have super oily skin. But most of the time we all need some types of emollient and occlusive to really lock in the water. So this one does look hydrating. There are some good humectants here. Are they the best? Probably not. And of course, and for this part there is nothing wonderful, nothing amazing, I would say. So what are my alternatives? So I have two. The first one is this one that I didn't talk for quite a long time. This is from the Korean brand Claire's. This is the Supple Preparation Unscented Toner. This one also has an acidic pH, around I would say pH 6. I have tested myself. So definitely this one, if you like to layer different type of product, this one is wonderful for this. Also you can do several layers of it to concentrate the humectant. But if you have more dry skin type, this one will be probably too lightweight for you. Another alternative, which is a French alternative that is also excellent and that contains a lot of different sugars, is this one from Bioderma. This is the moisturizing toning lotion from the Hydra Bio line. This one also is simply magnificent, also for a fraction of the price of this one. The only downside is that it contains perfume. I am really not a big fan of perfume in general in skincare. I am more or less okay if you just have one product that contains perfume, but definitely this one is a great formula overall. So if you have difficulty to find a proper toner to an affordable price, this one is worth a try. If you do have super sensitive skin, I would still stay away from it because of the perfume. So the next product is actually a really interesting product because this is an enzyme cleanser. This is actually an enzyme-based peeling, so definitely peeling, especially an acid-based peeling, is my favorite methods to help to exfoliate your skin for many reasons. Mostly because it provides an even exfoliation of the skin. When you are using some type of scrub, it's always difficult to have an even exfoliation, and from time to time you are just going to exfoliate more certain area than others because they are simply harder to get, such as the side of the nose or those little crevasses. They are always harder. And also what I love about acid is that you can really target the percentage of acid and also the type of acid that you want depending on your skin concern. One of my favorite acid is of course the azelaic acid. I have one product that I love from the French brand Ducret. I invite you to check this video if you can, if you want to try this product that is simply magnificent. So I think this is the first time that I'm going to talk about enzymes. So enzymes in biology are extremely important. They are actually 100% necessary for life. So it tells you a lot. Without enzyme, our cells are not able to function. So an enzyme is a huge molecule. It's a huge protein actually, because it is in the protein family. And what they do, they catalyze bioreactions. And what catalyze means is that they help for a reaction to happen, because all the reaction that happens in your cells could happen without an enzyme, but they would take weeks to happen, and thanks to the enzyme, those reactions can happen in a fraction of seconds. And the way usually that they work is that they take the two products in the beginning, for example, two amino acids, and they help the reaction to link them to happen super shortly, because they put the two amino acid in a specific conformation, and in that way the reaction can happen really fast, much faster than if you put the two amino acid in a small solution with all the requirements. It will take at least a week for this reaction to happen. And our body uses enzyme for many things. It uses enzyme to make, for example, the keratin in your skin, but also to make all the digestive enzyme that we have in our gut to help to process the food. And what is used in this product, you have first of all a lipase, and a lipase is a family of enzymes that are going to cut the fat, and basically when you are going to use it on your skin, it's going to degrade the lipid that we naturally have in our stratum corneum, so basically our skin barrier. And there's also another enzyme that specifically cuts proteins. So many in our skin is going to be our keratin, and this is the subtilisin. And what is really interesting about this protease, because we call it a protease, so the enzyme that cuts protein, is because this one is not really specific to a certain type of protein. And to boost the effect of those two enzymes, there is also a really mild detergent, which is derived from glutamate. So overall, I would say that this formula is really interesting, and definitely if you have the money, I would actually try this product. Also, even though it retails for $75, with this product you are going to use it for quite some time, because you only need those type of peeling once or twice per week. So I would say that it is worth the investment if you like to have something that is really innovative. Now, obviously, you can simply use a blend of AHA, and you will also get the same results for sure, it might be even more interesting, especially if you are acne prone and suffering from acne, to use actually a peeling that also contains a BHA, so beta hydroxy acid such as salicylic acid, because definitely with this enzyme powder you will not get this acne fighting ingredient. So an excellent example that is also super affordable is simply this one from The Ordinary. This is the AHA 30% plus BHA 2%. This one is a good product. It is super affordable. Just be careful to not over exfoliate your skin. I usually recommend this one once a week, and you apply a layer for 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes maximum. I know that they do recommend for 10 minutes. If you are completely new to this type of product, in the beginning, if you never exfoliate your skin, even with a scrub, you can go up to 10 minutes, but after on a weekly basis, usually 5 minutes is plenty. So the next product is a joke, basically. This is the Hyaluronic serum that retail for a crazy price of $300. I'm like, what? For Hyaluronic serum? It's like, no. So for this price, you get 30 ml. So this is basically $100 for 10 ml. Yes, sure. And when you look at the formula, it is like, it is simply horrific for this price, because you mostly get nothing. Basically, the two ingredients here are, again, the same extract from Portulaca and hyaluronic acid. It is not even mentioned in the ingredient list. There is 2 forms of hyaluronic acid, because what is used here is sodium hyaluronate, which is basically a very common form of hyaluronic acid, and basically that's it. And then you have a bunch of preservatives. So I mean, for $300, it is really far too much. I mean, this is crazy. So if you want to have a better alternative, one of my favorite one is simply this one from Adalabo. This is the Essence, the Kokujung. It is also in my favorite of 2019, so definitely check this video. And this one also is super affordable. So it does have 2 forms of hyaluronic acid that are listed in the list, and you also have glycerin, and this one is so humectant. I love this formula. Another one that is, I would say, even better is this one from the French brand SVR. This is the Ampoule B Hydra, because it does contain those 2 forms of hyaluronic acid and also niacinamide at 5%. And you know that at 5% niacinamide is really going to do something for your skin. And one of the main properties of this active is that it is a skin supportive ingredient. And one of the effects is that it promotes the synthesis of ceramides that are key lipids in our skin barrier. So I will definitely not even try this product. So the next product that is also basically on the same line is the anti-aging serum. So this one retails for $350. Like, what? For 30 ml. So again, a super crazy amount. And when you look at the ingredient, I'm like, really, for this price, this is all you have to give me? So again, you find the same lacto-fermented ingredient from Portulaca. Like I said in the beginning, that are lacking definitely some scientific evidence, despite the fact that she claims that this whole line is science-based. I'm like, wait, the science? There is no science over here. Then we also found hyaluronic acid. We find one ingredient that is pretty interesting, which is purlan, which is also a polymer made from a certain type of sugar. And this one is really interesting because it forms a film on the skin. And there are, I would say, some reports that show that those type of films can help to heal the skin. So in that aspect, this is interesting. And then you have also, again, a bunch of preservative. And something that is also always triggering is that when you look at the list of ingredients, if you find one preservative pretty high up, it also means that the rest of the ingredients are in a pretty low concentration, especially here because one of the preservative is phenoxyethanol. And in most cases, phenoxyethanol is used in a very low concentration. And I find it really outrageous to charge so much money for this formula. So the next product, but I'm not going to go into a lot of details, and I invite you to check my blog post at cyrillaurent.com when I will have more details about this cream. This is simply the face cream. So this one retails for $250 for 50 ml. So again, a super high price. For a moisturizer, that seems good, but I would say just good. There is no ingredient that are worth, I would say, the price. So like I said, check my blog if you want to have all the details. It doesn't seem that it has a lot of humectants, which I'm always a bit, I would say, so. The emollients are okay, but just okay. They are nothing, I would say, terrific over here. So if you want to have alternatives for normal to oilier skin type, you can try this one from Alta MD. This is the Barrier Renewal Complex. This one is actually a gift from a dear friend of mine, and this is Dr. Kado. I'm going to link his Instagram down below. So he is also a medical doctor that does aesthetics and also anti-aging. He's extremely gifted in all the injection and also the Botox. If you want something extremely natural, you can go and see him. If you also want something that doesn't necessarily look natural, you can also do it. And I've seen amazing results when I was here with him in his clinic, also talking about skincare, and this product is also sold in this clinic. I love this one, and this is also an excellent formula that is quite complex and also that is not that expensive for the price, and you have a bunch of ceramides here that are excellent. Another alternative is simply this one from Paula Choice. This is the Omega Plus Complex Moisturizer. I love this one. It has a really complex blend of botanical oils that are not known to be irritant, but just be careful if you are super sensitive. This one might not be for you, but it is really deeply moisturizing for the skin. So definitely this one is more targeting for normal to dry skin. If you have oily skin but you do want to try, an amazing tip that I have is to simply dilute it with your toner. So a simply way to do it, because this is a Paula Choice one, they all comes with a pump, is that you squirt half a pump on your hand and then you dilute it with your toner to light it down, and it will be an amazing moisturizer simply for oilier skin type. And also for the price, because Paula Choice is usually around $50, something like that. So it is not super affordable, this is for sure, but for the price you know what you get, not like here. It will also last a long time if you have oily skin and you dilute it. So the last product is a sunscreen. This is the Sun Drop. This is an SPF of 50. If you are not new to my channel, and if you are new, please consider to subscribe to my channel. You will know that I only recommend SPF 50 plus over SPF 50. So here, this is a European sunscreen. Therefore, the UVA protection is indexed, I would say, related to the SPF, and the UVA protection factor has to be at least of 1/3 of the SPF. So in that case, you basically have a minimum of a PPD value of 16. Whereas if you choose an SPF of 50 plus, you are guaranteed that you will have an SPF of 20 or above. So this is one of the reasons. I remind you that most of the aging process is due to UVA. Another part is other environmental cues, of course, and also our own genetics. But one of the best tools that we have currently to really slow down the process of aging is definitely with a good sunscreen. Another thing that is extremely important is that the highest the SPF here is, and the more the sunscreen is going to absorb the UVB, because the SPF is the value that measures the protection against a sunburn, and a sunburn is mainly due to UVB, but also a little bit to UVA. So I'm always more comfortable to recommend you a higher protection, even though SPF 50 is still high. SPF 50 plus will be better, and if you are on my channel, you only deserve the best of my advice. Anyway, if we look at the filtering system is actually excellent. So the first filter is octinoxate. Octinoxate is mainly a UVB absorbent. Then we have Uvinol A+. Uvinol A+ is a UVA type 1 mainly, and also a little bit of UVA type 2 filter. Then we have the Uvinol T150, which is mainly a UVB absorber. I also love this one because with a high concentration you can get a super high SPF. We have another one that I don't talk often, which is Enzyme. Enzyme is a UVB absorbent. One of these features is that it is easy to be solubilized in water, so you end up with a less greasy sunscreen, which is excellent. And the last one is the iconic Tynazol S, that is a broad spectrum UV filters. that absorb UVB, UVA type 2, and also UVA type 1. So just by looking at the filter, this is excellent, but like I said, it is an SPF of 50. I would prefer that it is an SPF 50 plus. What I find absolutely crazy, especially because this is coming from a doctor that claims that that her whole line is science-based, is that she recommends to use those drops, those sun drops, to dilute them in your moisturizer, or sometimes use it undiluted on your own. And oh my god, this is such a wrong advice, and I'm like, how come a doctor can dare suggesting something like that? Especially because if you look at her, she's blonde, so a phototype is basically between 1 and 2. She's at high risk of skin cancer. I don't know how many dermatologists are not going to tell you otherwise. You do need to wear your sunscreen undiluted with an even coat, and you obviously don't dilute it with your moisturizer. The proper order is after you have done all your skincare routine, you apply a thick coat of sunscreen and you don't dilute it or mix it with anything. This is something that is so important, and I can't believe that this type of advice are coming from a doctor, but definitely she's not a dermatologist, and you can see it by those type of wrong recommendations. So overall, this one thing that is for sure is that when you look at a whole line of skincare, this is fragrance-free, irritant-free. You don't also have a lot of weird botanical extracts. You don't have essential oils. You don't have any type of alcohol or other ingredient that may trigger any irritation on the skin. So overall, I would say that it is a super safe line, but there is nothing astonishing about those ingredients. And mostly, there is no state-of-the-art science-based skincare ingredient, despite what she claims. And again, for the price, I'm like, no. Like, a moisturizer seems good, but it's not something that is, I would say, mind-blowing, and I will never spend that much of money on a product that is, I would say, so basic. Also, something that you need to keep in mind, if you try this skincare line, I'm pretty sure that you will get some pretty good results. Why? Is because it follows the skincare basis, which is a gentle cleansers, then a gentle exfoliant that is going to even your skin tone, good humectants with the toner and also the Hyaluronic serum that has a crazy price, and then a good moisturizer with good emollients. But you don't have to break the bank to have the similar results. If you exfoliate your skin once or twice a week with the ordinary, the 30% AHA, then on a daily basis you first use this toner, then you go ahead with this serum, and you end up with a thick layer of this moisturizer. This will also give you similar results to these results, if not even better, because this is probably even more hydrating than what she has in her own line. Again, just the routine that I just showed you is fragrance-free, irritant-free, and etc. It is compatible with almost all skin type, and it costs like a fraction of the cost compared to her skincare line. So don't get fooled by it. This is definitely overpriced for what it is. So please comment down below and tell me if you have any question, and if you are still willing to try one of those crazy price products. If you like this video, please thumbs up. Consider to subscribe to my channel and to ring the little bell to not miss any of my new videos. You can also follow me on Instagram. I am Cyril Laurent. I have a lot of stuff over there. And of course, I thank you so much for watching me, and also to comments. I also love to read your comments, and I will see you next time. Au revoir.